This episode is not kid-friendly, or is the subject. You have been warned. You are listening to Bewitched Banter.
I'm Krista, and I believe that people are just naturally shitty.
And I'm Amy, and I tend to believe that people are, for the most part, questioning it a lot. This used to be my old phrase. Good.
But ironically, I'm a super believer in the supernatural and all things spiritual. As you can see behind me. My altar.
She's got her crystals vibing back there.
I actually do. I have some incense going right now.
Of course. And the subject today, Krista kept on asking me, she's like, what are we talking about? But we are talking about, basically about how Satanic Panic transformed to QAnon. Like, QAnon's origins come from Satanic Panic. So it's gonna be, I feel like I did an okay job researching. I feel like it was a lot.
Well, it is. There's so much to it. From the little I've listened about it, there's so much with some really hairy balls roots.
Wow, you're such an intellect.
I read books.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books.
Anyway, damn. You got me laughing now.
Well,
so what's up, thirsty woman?
Oh, thirsty thirst got quenched. Thirsty thirst got quenched. Woo, woo, woo. So what had happened was,
Krista wanted to wait before we get into it. Can I say something?
Fuck. Yep, I know where you're going with this.
Krista texted me and she was like, "So I have an episode idea," and she was like, I want to tell about my sexcapades." I'm like, I don't know if that's episode worthy, but we can pepper it in.
Well, we'll do mini little teasers. How about that?
Little sex. No, you call them instead of tease bites, sex bites.
Sex teases.
I like sex bites better.
Fine. You did come up with the name of our podcast and all, which people fucking love in my 2-person what do you call it? Recruitment group, my focus group of 2 people, randos. I love the name.
Hey,
so anyway,
that's 100%. That's some good statistics.
I know, right? I'm a scientist now. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. So I brought that up because as an addendum to our latest episode with the Strange Brew podcast, fellas, they asked if I had any hauntings, and I didn't really have one. And then I thought about it later, and I said, you know what? I have a real-life American horror story in the form of the ghost dick that never was.
You thought this story out long and hard.
I did. So,
but your situation was not long or hard.
No. But for the win, bitch.
Was that a good dad joke there?
Great. Oh my God. Yeah, it was not long nor hard. Actually, it was semi-long. But anyhow, what had happened was there was a fella, a really cute, handsome young fella in my apartment. And in the hot tub, my sister was visiting, and she basically facilitated the whole exchange of Instagram handles. And I was like so nervous because he was like a former football player, but he's also 23 years old.
How old? Who called it?
You.
Remember on the track you were telling me, and I go, that's not going to be good.
You jinxed it, bitch.
Who called it?
The side note is,
no, because I know 23-year-olds aren't good.
Yeah, well, I had a whole Miss Robinson fantasy, and it was shattered very swiftly after this non-experience ? But which PS, now he is trying to get friend request me on Insta, and I was like, boy, no. If you didn't get the message, like, we're good. I told you no games this time for round 2 that I gave you a chance on, and then you pull that bullshit. No games. I ain't got time for that shit. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I'm mad. Let me tell you why I was mad.
Okay, girl.
Well, I was on the couch, 9:40, and he finally texted me. I'm on my way. Still took another 15 minutes. And then I was watching True Crime, cuddled up with Ella. I'm like, God damn it, now I have to put makeup on. And then he left, obviously, within 15 minutes shortly after. So I was pissed.
Well, rightfully so.
Waste my goddamn
now you
time.
know.
Anyway, I
told you And I'm glad we're talking about child
Oh, Christ.
pedophilia, because that has to do with my topic.
Oh, no. Hey, 23.
That's why
23 and me. 23 and me. I will repeat. 23 years old. Consent.
Was he? Did you see his ID?
Shit. Don't get me worried now.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
I mean, you're not that bad. Okay, so I have, for our topic, kind of did a QAnon 101 for dummies, and I'm a dummy because I didn't know half the stuff, because I know what QAnon is, but I've never really clued in and took the energy to learn more about it. What about you?
It's a lot. Like, I only know little bits and pieces from podcasts I've listened to, and they had to do 4-parters on each because it was that much. So
yeah, like, I'm not gonna, if someone's looking for like every bit in detail, it's not here, baby. But
bye.
Keep listening.
Bye.
I'm no expert, and I'm not gonna pretend to be. But basically, how I would describe QAnon, it's basically a cult. It could be like a religion, and they basically believe the twice impeached orange ex-president is fighting a war against like the elite people, like your leaders, your celebrities, people in government, and they believe that they're like Satan worshiping pedophiles. So I'm kind of breaking this down for people who are like, okay, I know all this. Just give me a minute.
I didn't.
So I'm going over
I knew, again, bits and pieces, but
I didn't know if some of this stuff was common sense, but I was like, I don't really.
Well, that's the thing, is none of it's common sense, because it's so goddamn wild that it's like.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
And they basically believed like a day of reckoning would happen, and this is when like lock her up, like Hillary Clinton's gonna be like arrested and executed. In short summary, like, obviously when you read into their beliefs, which I haven't dived into, because this episode's gonna more focus on how their origin story rather than what they believe in, because I feel like you said that's a whole other topic. But yeah, like, so their beliefs really contradict each other. Basically, like being a Republican when they're like pro-life, but we don't want to pay for any of your shit.
Well, we'll get to it in my Ginny Thomas story.
But they basically use, for these like beliefs that they have, they use like, supposedly they come from numerology.
Oh shit!
So numerology ain't that numerology. Let's fuck off that shit. Man. And then like they try to pull like historical facts that have probably been warped to their views, and then just news events to reach all these conclusions. Basically started in 2017. It started with anonymous user, and they started creating a bunch of anonymous posts on the board 4chan, which I was a little nervous because I Googled yesterday at work on my work computer. And I was like, I'm going to get like red flagged for joining QAnon.
Oh, you know
like, I felt a little nervous. And I was like, oh shit. The stuff I Google for this podcast, sometimes I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble.
Oh my God. Hey, random side note. Did you know, I learned this Best Friends weekend, thanks to Carrie Lee, that if you go in incognito mode, you could do like Pornhub for free. So anyway,
no, I haven't been on Pornhub.
I've never been on it, to be very shockingly. I know it's breaking wild news. I have never been on.
Please do not do that on your work computer.
No, I will not do it on my work computer. But my point is, you could go incognito next time you're searching shit for the pod at work. Incognito.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Okay. I was like.
Sorry, that's where I was going with that. I know. I was straying a little bit.
Okay. I was like, okay, cool. Cool story, bro. Okay, but anyway, so he's posting this stuff on 4chan, and he's signing off as Q. And his big thing is why he like has street cred. It's because he's like claiming he has Q. They call it hashtag Q clearance, and like basically he's dropping off bombs of truth, and they would call it like Q drops or breadcrumbs, right? And most of his messages are going to be like in cryptic language. It's going to have like some slogans and pledges that kind of lead to like, oh, praise Trump, praise Trump. Because like Trump is like the savior that's going to come save them from these pedophiles.
Out of all human beings on earth, if you could even call him one, why the fuck that man? I mean, I just can't.
That is another topic for another day.
I just can't.
I feel like you either get it or you don't. And I'm on the far don't.
Literally no idea. I just, I don't know.
I mean, can we at least pick an attractive man?
Oh, I know. They'd have much more followers if it was an attractive man. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Actually, we don't want attractive
The
man.
thirsties
We
like
don't want to
me
give him
would
any
be like,
more
oh
harm.
damn.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Krista, you're about to say you're enjoying QAnon. He's attractive. Her standards are real high, if you can tell. Do you know what Cabal is? I didn't know what that was.
Isn't it in the? I know Kabbalah, like Jewish religion. Is that the same thing or no?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know what it is. So it's basically a secretive political clique. I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up. So that's what a cabal is, okay? QAnon believes cabal is like abducting children, and the secretive political clique I'm talking about is like all Democrat leaders, right?
Okay.
So they call them a cabal. It's secretive. But not all Democrats. It's this little clique. And they're going to harvest their blood for chemical known as adrenochrome, if I'm saying that right. And they believe that this blood they're getting from the children is going to help them live longer.
The fuck?
That fucked up.
Here's the thing I have a problem with. Like, if you believe this,
Mm-hmm.
that's your right to believe it. As wild as it is. Now, taking that shit and spouting it to people as fact, show me the fucking evidence. Because who knows? If you're right, then fine. But obviously, they don't have any goddamn hard evidence to, like... Anyway.
I can't even respect your belief. That's idiot. I will not go that far. That's when I think your belief is hindering your reality of the world and you need a fucking mental health check. That's not okay.
Woo! Church.
I want to say believe what you want to believe. But when your reality is so far based off so far from reality, you need some mental
1,000%
and help.
My point is that they have the right to believe it, even though it's obviously bad.
They have a right. Yeah, we can't arrest them or do anything. You can believe what you ever want to believe, but when your beliefs are so far based off from reality, that's when I think you might need help.
No, I follow that point.
I can't be like, oh, believe what you want to believe, because obviously beliefs, they think they're real, and then it leads into these consequences that bleed into our society. So this whole belief is like mind nuts, but it's not that far off. It's based on another past belief. This is not anything new in the world. So it's basically centuries old, this belief that where there was this anti-Semitic belief where they believed like a cabal of Jews would kidnap and murder Christian children and do the same thing. So they're basically this belief has origins that are centuries old.
Yeah, and very xenophobic, right?
Yeah, and anti-Semitic because they're against Jew people.
That's the real word I was searching for.
Yeah. So then QAnon also, they're known for like their famous hashtags of like save the children or sometimes save our children. And that relies on has origins too. So it goes back decades. And these slogans used to be something people used to say about the LGBTQ community. That people were in danger of like gay people or lesbians because they were associated with being pedophiles.
Fuck no.
So like all these beliefs are not new. They're just like repeating kind of history. And they have origins that are like centuries old, but people don't realize that who are buying into this bullshit.
What?
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, messaging is a scary thing.
And what really scared me is that 90 candidates from QAnon ran for political leadership in 2020. That's a huge number.
I'm sorry, what? 90?
90.
Like,
yeah.
Fuck no.
But I mean, I don't know if we should give that number too much credit because at the same point, you can run and have 2 votes and be voted out right away. Yeah. Anyone can run. So I didn't really dive into how far they made it into the race because I mean, any nutbag like Tiger Joe fucking ran, so anyone can run.
Yeah,
doesn't mean you're gonna do well. So that's why I don't know how far they made it with the
but the volume alone that many did attempt is scary. Again, back to their reality. Like they're thinking it's their reality that they earn or have this weird claim to be in power.
Now I kind of want to talk about a little bit more of like who buys into a conspiracy theory. And I thought this was a really good analogy I came across. And I think it can resonate with everyone. A conspiracy rumor in society is like a virus, right? So they have ancient origins. They mutate into different forms over time and are extremely hard to eradicate. And then some are more dangerous than others. I think is that deep? But it's true. I was like, some are less dangerous than others. And I feel like COVID, I'm like, okay, that hit a nerve.
Yeah, that's why I literally was just like, too soon. Way too fucking soon.
Yeah. I thought it was also interesting. So, who would you, in your mind, think would be a conspiracy theorist? Like, if you had to categorize, like, who's more prone to fall to being a conspiracy theorist? Who do you think it would be?
I think I know the answer, but I used to think it was more radical people, but it's, I think, people that don't have molded beliefs yet, because then you can, again, I don't want to use the word mold again, but like take them into your purview, right? Is that?
Yeah, you're kind of close. Yeah, but basically, like, a lot of people think of like the typical white male, uneducated, middle aged. Like, that's
Sure.
more demographics.
Oh, my bad.
I was
Okay,
talking
sorry.
about.
Yeah, that's what, absolutely. I think of shootings, of course, immediately, and angry white teenager. What do you know? So,
but what scared me actually is that it's not those people, because it'd be easier if it was just like one group of people. But they really said it's like any age group, any education, any political affiliation, rich people, poor people. It doesn't really matter. Like, there's not really one sector of people who are like really prone to it. More, the only category, and tells me like they really can't figure out who's doing it. They were like, basically, it's like people who have been through like traumatic life experiences where they have no control. So, like,
scary.
if you were somewhere like in Florida and there was a hurricane and it kind of destroyed your whole home, and there was something you completely lost control of, you're more going to try to search for like the truth,
Gotcha.
I guess, or like try to have some control of your life
to keep you grounded. Totally, that makes sense.
And then, like, or people who just experience anxiety, like they're going to lose their job. But really, it's not like, oh, middle class, Midwest, or Southern, which I thought was interesting. And they notice if a natural disaster happens or some kind of like crazy thing, like the nuclear power plant that exploded in Fukushima, those people, the closer they are, the more likely they're going to be prone to a conspiracy.
Whoa.
Like, more people were conspiracy theorists who live close to the Twin Towers.
Oh, no,
it more
shit.
had an immediate impact on them.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but it was like, for us, we were like watching from afar, but if you lived in that city, it would have more of an impact on your daily life. And really set in. And then the thing that scared me was they said education. I thought education would be kind of like the way to get the F out. Only makes a tiny slight difference. It's not a big, like, you would think it'd be a bigger difference. 1 in 5 Americans who have a graduate or postgraduates, they've graduated from graduate school, have a master's, 1 in 5 are still in high predisposition for conspiracy beliefs.
Jeez.
With that level of education, so you would think like that would make a difference, but it really doesn't.
Did you get into why? Or did they like?
They can't figure it out. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason for all this.
Weird.
Like,
that's very.
I mean, like, but I feel like, I mean, I could got into it if I read like a like some 29-page paper. I don't care that much. And then they were basically saying that narcissists and people who want to feel unique, like, I own this unique sense of like information that you guys, normal people, don't understand, but I understand.
Like exclusive vibe.
Like, the moon landing was fake and I'm benefiting from this, and all you normal people wouldn't understand.
Side note, so sorry. Did you fucking see this weekend? Alex Jones got fucking I think
that was like last week.
Yeah, well, it happened while I was with all my friends, as you know, who we all grew up in the town next to Sandy Hook, and this motherfucker has claimed that we did not know people who died or those babies that died. So I was just very happy to see that motherfucker is going to jail and paying some money.
Well, about time the justice system catches up, because it feels like with Trump finally, and like when they raided Mar-a-Lago, I was like, fuck yeah, something finally.
Well, now he's trying to spin that. And I was kind of slacking this to you yesterday, where like the headlines are that they unannounced like stormed his compound. Bullshit. They're the FBI. They can do whatever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want.
I think it's hilarious. Like, the FBI has to call a drug dealer before, like, hey, Escobar, I'm gonna raid your place. I want to announce it on media and then come your way. Is that cool? Just take all your drugs and then you'll be great. That's what I feel like. Is that what the courtesy call he's wanting?
No, it's scary though, because he's using that messaging as a platform for all these QAnon motherfuckers who support him. And
well, these people are far lost. There's no hope for them. So we just got to count on the reasonable people to keep seeing how crazy he is and go to the other side. I think is slowly happening.
So. And the other thing is, again, I say this all the time. Last thing I'll say about it is like, we must do better in the media. Like, we must do better. Like, stop asking Trump about his buffoonery and all this other bullshit. Ask him like real questions. Like, I don't know, maybe before he got elected, like, what's your actual platform? What's your actual policy other than Mexicans are rapists? I don't know. Like, press him on things.
You need to watch Jon Stewart's new show on Apple. He goes to the media and he goes to the head of ABC and he asks him if he literally would create a platform network that was like morally sound. And the guy was like, I would love to, trust me. But he's like, it's not feasible. The network would not survive.
Oh yeah. Is that scary? That's the scary part about it, is because they took all those sound bites because of monetary. People wouldn't watch.
This has a long way to go, by the way.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It got me on the media again, but yeah, absolutely. And it's all intertwined though, right? Because he strategically uses it to get these people to believe and follow. It's fucking scary.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely terrifying.
All right.
I mean, all of it is. But I was like, I have a long way to go. So I was
no, I do love Jon Stewart. I always loved him, and I love his new. He has a podcast too, I think, about similar to the show. So.
Oh yeah, well, it's based on his show.
Nice,
it's good.
Cool.
I watched it when I had COVID, and I was like stuck at home alone. I was like had it on the background. It's really good.
All right, let's do it.
Where was I though? So basically, we're gonna start talking about. Starting in the origins of QAnon today. That's why I focused on more. Okay, so now we're going to basically go back to the 80s and 90s. And this is when the belief started that satanic cults were basically growing in the US. And these cults were like basically corrupting, sexually abusing, and verbally abusing children in any way they could.
No evidence.
And this is really...
still.
Yeah, but this is basically the Satanic Panic, and this is about how the origins of QAnon gets us there, like where QAnon. Yeah,
remember Teal Swan that was mentioned, and that like they forced her into like sex work as a child, kind of thing. So,
yeah, but we don't know if is it true.
I don't think so, but I guess no. Let me say I don't know.
This is like in the late 60s and 70s. We're like setting up kind of how this all started, right? Mm-hmm. And it's because they had a fear of the cult, and it was due to several factors. So you had the Manson cult murders that happened. You had Anton LaVey. He published the Satanic Bible. You had the rise of Satanism as a religion.
Their buddy Anton.
Yep.
No.
And it's like Satanism's taking off. It's getting all that media attraction. And then you have The Exorcist. The book was published and then followed by the movie. And so that movie, we all know, like it had like a huge impact on society. So people started to believe like there was demonic possession, that demons could like possess you and steal your soul. And then the Ouija board, they kind of flipped to being this fun game to it's a really sinister, evil game. And then you have the Jamestown massacre that happened. And then along with that, kind of like compound everything that's happening on is that you have all these famous serial killers. Jamestown.
What's the because I'm thinking of Jonestown, where they all took suicide. And I just don't know what Jamestown massacre is. Sorry, I only know I'm thinking of Jonestown. But that was more of a mass suicide.
So the Jamestown is... Maybe it's Jonestown. I put James.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm calling this bitch out. I don't think...
I Googled it, and it went to tobacco economy in the Powhatan lands. I was like, I don't think that's the right place.
Yeah, it's Jonestown. Sorry, I had to point that one out. Only because a lot of people really were, again, brainwashed and murdered, and it's like, I feel like we should get it right because it's like, ooh.
Also, so now this is where several serial killers are kind of like the ones we all know, like the Zodiac killer, the Alphabet killer, And these killers are known for using ritualistic patterns when they murdered individuals. So thinking like it's a ceremonial like thing for Satanism, basically. And then you have Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and the Hillside Stranglers. So this is like all building up to all this panic, right?
A lot of darkness.
And we all know they thought like heavy rock music is giving like secret messages from the devil. The game Dungeons and Dragons, those people were like got a lot of ridicule, like, oh, you're like worshiping Satan, like by certain populations, not everyone, but they thought that that had to do with the devil too. And then this is where it gets really fucked up, in my opinion. So they started to accuse like babysitters or daycare workers of child abuse, and they would like say there was like an underground network, and they were like torturing and sexually abusing these children in like these dark occult ways.
That's what
which is
reminded
like so
me of the
messed
Teal
up.
Swan connection. That's exactly it right there.
Yes. And it led to several arrests. It happened in not just in the US, but Canada as well. Several years on, we find out they're innocent.
Yep. So that's so.
And most of
things
these
are on so many levels.
Isn't it so messed up?
You can't even follow the messed up bury of it. It's just so fucking gross all around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're like, there's nothing good to say about it. And most of these arrests started with the police, and then like it'd be like the parents questioning the daycare workers. And what they would like do is basically bring these children in for questioning and just keep questioning them like over and over again until they kind of got the answer they wanted. And they falsely accuse all these individuals. Not all. I shouldn't say all. A lot of individuals, because I don't know.
Yeah, not great.
Even when like you have to kind of think of the gravity of this, because even if you don't go to jail, like your social image to that community is ruined at that point.
And obviously your business.
And like you probably went bankrupt, like with all your lawyer fees. So these people like had a lot, even if they didn't go to jail, they were like basically sentenced a jail sentence by having this image about themselves. So like, oh, how horrific. You know what I mean? Especially then, like you'd have to move away. But you don't know if those people had money to move away. And I thought this was really interesting. So the Satanic Panic actually may have its origins from Canada instead of the US, because I thought it originated in the US. Canada. And it all started by this book called Michelle Remembers.
Ooh.
And it was written by psychiatrist Lawrence Panzard and his client Michelle. And basically it ended up being like a template for like satanic abuse. Supposedly Lawrence like brought back her old memories and was able like suppress memories. And she had like memories of being like recruited by like a satanic cult, and like all the rituals that would happen, she like witnessed as a child. And this is like her tell-all book. And it was like considered nonfiction. And even on the cover, when you look at it, it says like true tale.
Oh, that wouldn't fly today.
True factual tale.
Wouldn't fly today.
But there is literally, but literally, there's no evidence any of this happened to Michelle, even though it was like published that way. And this made Lawrence like an overnight success. So he became like the known expert. They would actually invite him to come to trials and do testimonies, because he's like the expert on like how to spot a satanic cult member or devil worshiper. And then when he was questioned, there was like an interview, and it's like some magazine probably. They were questioning him, and they're like, there's no evidence. Like, how can you say this happened to Michelle? And his response was like, I don't know how people take this seriously, but he was like, well, the satanic cult members would have like ate the kid's body and drank all the blood, so there would be no evidence. Like how, like.
And do you know how hard it is to get rid of a body? Like, I know that sounds gross, but you know the true crime shit I listen to. So, you know, I know that you don't just get rid of the body parts like that. It takes a really long time. So.
It's not like, it's like from our haunted episode. I got shit to do today, Bob. Throw that body off.
Bye. Throw it away.
Bye. Got rid of that body. I mean, I feel like if anyone's watched true crime, they know like
it ain't that easy.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work to be a horrific murderer, you know? A lot of work.
Seems like too much work to me.
Yeah, I got
I don't want
I
a
got
second
other shit to do
job.
today. I mean, shit, I'm side hustling,
Yeah.
I'm teaching and working. Come on now. I'm already busy. Thanks. I'm good.
We're lazy when it comes to murder. But yeah, so they're inviting him in, and then basically he was given $1.2 million in publishing dollars, like in today's dollars. That's how much he made from this book.
And this must have been before the time. Well, he didn't commit the crime or was never indicted, but now there's we talked about this many times before, where you cannot benefit, a murderer or criminal cannot benefit from their story of any kind of retelling it financially,
But I don't know, it feels like there's a lot of loopholes about it. I don't know if that's totally true. Do you? How did Inventing Anna make all that money?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's got to be some media law.
I bet there's loopholes.
Media lawyers.
I feel like if you have a good enough lawyer,
hit me up because I'm fascinated by this. But yeah,
I feel like there's probably enough loopholes that a good lawyer could find one for you.
But how much? 1 million? You
people
said 1 point. How much? 11 million?
1.2 million in publishing dollars.
No.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about some of the like really famous trials that happened. And one of the largest, the longest, and most expensive in California, it was the McMartin trial.
Okay.
So in 1983, a parent accused one of the staff members at the McMartin preschool in Manhattan of abuse, right? During this trial, they brought in an unlicensed, I don't know how that flies.
Yeah.
Psychiatrist or psychotherapist, not psychiatrist.
I see that here in Arizona flying. But yeah, in New York, I do not see that flying at all. Like, what the fuck?
And she's basically there to do cross-examine 400 children. And she came forward after this with 321 accounts of child abuse, and it happened all by 7 daycare workers. She told tales of them having underground tunnels that could take them to perform these satanic rituals. Supposedly they sacrificed a baby, and they had flushed children down the toilet, and they could turn into witches and fly. Cool. So this is your 70s witch hunt all over again.
What's up? Oh, yes, I was near Salem. I was thinking of you, and I was like, oh, damn, we need to actually go to Salem together one day. But I was in Gloucester.
We do.
Gloucester, Massachusetts, which was right next door to Salem, with all those witches.
I feel like that'd be a great Bewitched Banter.
I do too. Trip. You want to? And then we can visit Carrie Lee after she has her baby. Perfect. Done. Sign us up. I would say somebody get our expense reports ready, but we don't really have a personal assistant these days. We aren't there yet.
keep dreaming, girl. Okay. This trial the investigation lasted 6 years, and the trial was actually 5 years. And the case came to a close finally after 5 years because they had no substantial evidence, and so they had to just drop the case. Well, it was the most expensive. Can you imagine how much tax dollars were wasted on that?
And these poor people's reputations, like you said, their lives were destroyed.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they didn't die by suicide after that. I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's messed up. And then 7 years later, this is where the daycare becomes this huge focal point, and they actually just tear down the building. They're like, okay, we just got to get rid of this building.
Causing people too much anxiety.
Wipe our hands off.
I can't take this shit. Satan's.
So another trial then happened in California in 1980, and it sent 26 people to prison, which is fucking nuts to me.
Who probably are innocent.
Yeah. And there was a lot of lacking evidence, and they were all claimed to be accused of being individuals who had started a sex ring of pedophiles.
And no evidence?
Most of these convictions.
That's what gets me, is that how it flew with absolutely no.
They must have some. They said lacking, but obviously a lot of them have been released.
Oh, good.
So it was kind of all hysteria. Okay. Not all of them, but one guy served 20 years.
Fuck no.
And there was several. They had all these sob stories, and I was like, "Hi."
Did the Innocence Project help him out? Because holy shit, that's such.
Well, one guy's still in prison today because he doesn't have any legal representation. He's probably lost all his money.
That's
to get
so
someone.
Sad.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, this shit's fucked up. This is why you need to question your sources.
1,000 every day, folks.
Says the girl believes just to believe.
Ooh, bitch. I don't have a clapback right now. However.
You don't? Okay.
Moving on.
Okay, so moving on. Chris was like, I don't want to debate this.
Got a clapback for that. Gotta think on that.
It'll be too late. The ship has sailed.
Yeah, the aliens will have gotten me. Bye.
You wish. Okay. And then in the 80s, we have like people like you think of the police, the political leaders, evangelicals. They're actually, there's legit police training videos you can Google today and it'll show you how to spot like someone who's in a satanic cult. Like they made like trainings, educational videos, seminars.
How
and this
are they
is not
still
just
up?
for police, but like political leaders.
I'm shocked those videos are still accessible.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a video and it's 7 minutes long, literally teaching them what to do.
Down, I feel like, but I don't know.
I think now it's like, wow, you're an ass. Like how?
No, but look at the QAnon people. They, that's what we would think, and look at them. They believe all this shit. So, I'm so at a loss for general humanity. So, again, people are shitty.
I think we were all there. I feel like the past few years have been very trying.
Let it out. Let it out. Let's do a deep breath. Exhale the trauma of the past 2 years in all and every way.
I don't know if I can exhale it. I feel like I need to like go yell at a Karen.
Oh, I have a Karen reference in my case. What do you know?
Okay, we'll hear it.
Karens are fucking everywhere. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, they are, but you just don't socialize with them. That's what I choose.
Yeah, fuck right now.
I feel like if the best approach to Karen is you just don't interact. If they start to go crazy, you just look at them like they're crazy and walk away. They're not.
Do not engage. Do not engage. I repeat, do not engage.
I would not engage a Karen. It's not worth your energy. I just think is look at them. You are a crazy lady or crazy man, and I'm gonna walk away because you're not worth my energy. People don't waste your energy on a Karen. That's what I'm saying. Chapter 101. Okay. So it's the 90s. And basically people are starting to see through all this bullshit. They're like, this is crazy. This is just like a hunt on people that society kind of hates or marginalizes, all that shit, right? It still is carrying on, but not at such a large scale, right? So we have a couple that immigrated from Cuba. His name is Frank, and then he has an undocumented wife. They didn't mention her name. She was accused of molesting 8 children, and there was a lack of physical evidence, and they're using questionable tactics to get him to confess, right? And that led him to being in jail for 6 consecutive life terms, a minimum of 165 years in prison, and he's not eligible for parole until 2,134.
Holy shit.
And these guys had no money for legal representation. There's a man named Patrick Figured. He's 72, still in prison today, and he was accused of ritualistic child abuse with a woman he never met in his life. And then somehow the lady got exonerated and he didn't. Florida school principal spent 21 years being convicted with lack of evidence. He was released at the age of 80, but was deported. Was basically told he had to move to another country.
Extradited.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, also deported.
Isn't deported for goods? I don't know. I thought
deport your ass.
Oh yeah.
Extradite. You're deported means they're telling you can't live in a country.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, my bad. I went extra as per usual. Okay. Oh no, extradite is when they bring them back. That's my bad. I mixed it up. When you know what I'm saying.
So now we're gonna fast forward to 2007, and this is when Meredith Kircher in Italy was murdered by Amanda Knox.
Oh yeah,
and they believe that Amanda Knox murdered her because it was the day after Halloween, and they believe it was like some sexual, ceremonial, ritualistic, satanic praise. But I literally can't tell you if I think Amanda Knox is guilty because I never finished the documentary.
I watched it. It was interesting, I have to say.
What do you think?
It's a hard call. I'm leaning towards I don't think she did it, but I also don't know who else would have. So The defense did a really good job
But that's
creating the
the
doubt.
question all the time, though. Yeah.
Like,
but you never know. She could have met someone and they just...
there's like a slew of boyfriends, right, that were
internet.
supposedly also involved. And
I didn't watch it. I only watched part of it, and I didn't understand. I just didn't finish it.
I don't know. I wasn't convinced of her full innocence, but I wasn't convinced of her full guilt either. So, still a tough one.
Yeah, I have no idea. I feel like a lot of people really got obsessed with Amanda Knox. I never did.
Yeah, me neither.
As far as that story.
Did either. That's funny.
And then we also had Pizzagate.
Oh, that I remember. Because just the name is so bizarre.
Yeah. So, yeah. Which I didn't really know about, to be honest. So his name's Edgar Madison Welch. He brought a gun to Washington, D.C. in a pizza parlor. And this is supposed to be where it's rumored like Hillary Clinton, all these top officials are like basically trafficking children, like for sex abuse. And he goes there, he has his rifle, he shoots it off a few times, and no one's injured or no one's hurt at all, thank God. But he was at the part of the rumor that's all happening in the basement in this store called Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria. He gets there, there's no basement that even exists. That was like one of the big parts was all about this basement. There's literally no basement in this pizza shop.
Was he like looking through doors and shit? Or looking like, I don't...
Well, he walked in and shot his gun.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So he got arrested. And this was all happened basically because a few weeks before there was like a fake news story that released that Hillary Clinton was a pedophile. So that kind of led him to do all this stuff. And then there was a dinner party Hillary Clinton hosted, and it's this performing artist. And I remember learning about this in art history class. She is a weird lady. Her name is Marina Abramovic, and she does like performing art. She does really weird performing art though. Like she did one where a man was naked and a woman was naked, and they kind of were like in a skinny door frame facing. And to get into the exhibit, you couldn't like walk through the naked man or the woman without facing one of them. So the performing art was like, what will people choose? Will all men choose to face the woman? Will all men face to choose the man?
That's a fascinating case study.
The man. But like 99% of people face the woman.
We're beautiful
like they felt more comfortable.
Thank you very much. Just saying.
So she's bizarre. So I can understand why people are like,
sure,
what the
like
fuck? Why is she at the White
Hillary
House
with this weirdo? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, she does cool stuff, and she's really well renowned and famous. But so she does a performing art show in front of like all Hillary Clinton, I don't know who else was there. Important people.
Those people,
and this is when important people, high ups, I don't have anything to do with. But they basically like they caught wind of this, and this is where it's like she invited her to do like these satanic rituals. It was a ceremony because Hillary Clinton's a pedophile, and she needs to do these ceremonies, get their blood, crazy shit. And then I thought this was really interesting. I didn't know this. So Procter and Gamble actually spent decades fighting false claims that they were working with the devil.
I didn't know that either. And that's a big ass corporation.
Yeah, and they won. Yes, and they won a $19.2 million lawsuit
for defamation.
Yeah,
that's pretty damn good.
Because I know, isn't that crazy?
Was it QAnon that started the rumor? Like, where'd that come from? That's bizarre.
There probably this. I think this is before. This is kind of leading up to when QAnon starts. It hasn't started. It hasn't started yet. Sorry, just knock on my bottle.
Amy's getting drunk.
So a rumor. Drunk. Ooh. Hand bottles on my head.
And you're listening to Bewitched Banter.
So basically, a rumor caught on somehow that the president of the Procter & Gamble went on a talk show and basically was like, I support the satanic rituals in church. And it was like rumor like he did this year. He never did. He never went on a TV show and talked about being like a supporter. Yeah. And then their logo, we'll have to I'll have to show you a picture and post on Instagram, but it's like a silver medallion almost. Picture like a moon, but with a man's face in it with a beard and 13 stars, right? Again, crazy people think that this is a satanic symbol hidden in their logo. They think that each curl in the man's beard and hair is in series of 3. And then they also say it has 3 distinct patterns, and there's 13 stars on one side, right? And Procter & Gamble is like, that's going to represent was meant to represent the 13 colonies, where the crazy, insane, fucking dumb people think, oh, the 13 stars have a series of 3 6s, the reoccurring 666, the devil.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy, though?
Even for me, that's going a little too far.
Okay, and then do you remember the creepy clown days?
No, girl, I don't fuck with clowns. No.
But do you remember it? I'm asking, do you remember that?
Like the musicians?
In 2000.
Or the people that dress like the black and white face and shit.
No. Okay, so in 2016, and I distinctly remember this because it was one of my friends I was a teacher at that point. She texted me a picture, and it was like of a creepy clown by her school, right? Of a man dressed like a clown. And this was happening all over the country. People were starting to dress like clowns, and they would like
I don't remember this.
Like, go to schools and take eerie pictures. I remember because my friend was like, I started this school in 3 days, and look at this picture. And I was like, oh, that's terrifying.
Fuck I never saw it, because I am mortified of clowns, clearly. Like,
I know, but being a teacher, I was like, oh, this is scary, because they were like taken by schools and stuff. And they were taken by the woods. And so it all started in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it actually ended up being like a marketing stunt for a movie. But because they started this marketing stunt to get people talking about it, this led other people to kind of be like, not part of the marketing stunt, start taking scary pictures by a clown, as dressed as a clown.
Absolutely not.
So this hits big clown. So there's big pharma, there's big clown.
What?
And they hits that industry.
Wait,
hard.
Are you serious? You're not fucking with me.
I'm joking.
Oh, I was like, what? I was like, what, bitch?
It was a terrible joke.
Oh my god.
Terrible joke.
You already had your dad joke. Your quota's met.
Big clown got taken down. That kind of rhymes.
I can't. Okay.
Oh my god. So in New Zealand, they stopped selling clown costumes. In U.S., several Ohio school districts banned clown costume and masks. Thank God. Target actually takes down all their clown masks and like accessories online and in stores. They wouldn't sell it that Halloween. Residents in New Brunswick, they were asked, like the whole community as a large was asked, like, please don't dress like a clown this Halloween. Around Halloween, like, media likes to scare people and put the hysteria out there. They were talking about clowns who were going to do like a purge or like attack on Halloween Eve.
That's terrifying.
Like a lot of stations.
That is my literal worst fucking nightmare. Absolutely not.
And this, to me, next part kind of, I can't believe this wasn't more of like a national sensation, big headline. So it happened right after Trump grabbed him by the pussy. Leakage came out, right? So everyone is talking about that, but they're not talking about this story where a family in Florida, they were driving home from trick-or-treating, and it's a set of brothers and 2 women and 5 children, and they're driving home in Florida, and 20 clowns actually go and attack them.
I'm gonna have a panic attack. And I'm gonna have a panic attack thinking about it. I have goosebumps, and like, I'm scared.
And the 2 men, like, they get something hits their car as they're driving home, and they're like, what the fuck, or whatever. They pull over. One of the guys is stabbed in the head with like a machete-like item, and he has like a big intrusion in the back of his head, and the other one's like beaten with a hockey stick. And there's 20 clowns, and somehow, I don't know how, but like, oh my, they're so lucky. They somehow like got in the car and were able to drive off and survived. Isn't that crazy? And they never were able to figure out who actually did it. Like, who the group of people were.
And the terror, like absolutely not.
Yeah, like there's a picture of him in his head, like the back of his head's all bloody. I'm like, oh, how terrible. And the guy, when they interviewed him, he was like, which rightfully so, I don't blame this person at all, but he's like, those kids or whoever did this to me are so lucky I didn't have my gun, because I would have shot every single one of them, because I felt like my life was threatened.
Oh my god.
And I was like, well, rightfully so. That's like I would think my
personal
life was
space
over.
and that's allowed to protect yourself.
I'm not like all for gun violence, but I feel like that calls for it.
You have
like
a right to it. Second Amendment defense. So
at the same year, a homeless man was beat by clowns
okay,
in
nope, I
Colorado
can't with any more
Springs.
clowns. Do you have more? I can't do it.
No, this is all kind of the build up. So this is kind of now all the events, all the origin stories of how basically 2017 you log onto anonymous chat 4chan and it's Q talking about a satanic pedophile ring that includes Democrats, celebrities, and Donald Trump is here to save us. And that is kind of how it all funny. Accumulates like, that shit crazy stuff.
It's so funny because it's that crazy. Like, what else do you do but laugh? I don't know. I don't understand. I just don't understand.
I don't either. It's terrifying, and it's like they're all lost. Like the people who believe in this, yeah. I believe there's people on the fence who are smart, and we could pull over and be like, "Hey, look at all this crazy stuff. Watch the trials." That's why they aired them, because they knew the people who are on the fence, they're going to win over. They know the extreme people, they're long gone. We're never going to be able to save them. It's like earlier when I said it's a virus, we're not going to eradicate it. And those people are fucking batshit crazy. I have nothing
even
good to say
though they're
about
quote
them.
unquote anonymous, do they have like a number of people again? Can you remind me that identify as QAnon motherfucker?
There may be a number, but I really don't think they know. They say in the millions.
That's fucking scary. That's the more scary part.
Yeah. Well, I think it's scary that they're infiltrating our political system.
Oh, like already done did it. Not are doing it. It's done.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Trump and look at it's so scary. And actually, in my case, it's all about that. She's Ginny Thomas, who sneak peek, head to our next episode next week.
Hot snap, sneak peek.
She is influencing a lot of these QAnon-led beliefs and has since Trump's election and has a lot to do with his election. It's really gross. It's really scary.
Yeah, they said the main difference between Satanic Panic and QAnon, there's not much like of a difference. The main difference is that QAnon is probably more of a threat because it's a political threat, which Satanic Panic didn't have such a grip hold on our country. And it's they're recognized as domestic terrorists. They didn't really have that Satanic Panic. And also, but it's all the same at the same time. It's all about fear mongering. Mm-hmm. It's all about just
anti-Semitism,
people, causing hysteria,
anti-women, anti-anything positive in life, anti-LGBT. That's what. So I guess, did you get into that at all?
That was me diving into even just the origin story. So I feel like I'm not even going to get into what QAnon is as a whole. If I do the highlights, I feel like that'd be another 3 hours.
It absolutely would.
And I feel like that'd be cool. I feel like that'd be cool to do, but I just feel like even just tell the origin story by itself was a whole story. Yeah. But like, I think it was nuts. I was like, that is crazy. All that stuff that happened that led to QAnon, and like, how do they not know that?
It's so scary. I can't.
People be dumb. Oh my gosh. So you'll find this nuts. So my Caitlin, my friend, texted me that one of the girls, she was more acquaintance in college, not a good friend, but she's going to have a baby off grid. So the baby doesn't have a social security number, with no midwife, and just have it at her home.
What if something happens to her?
Because she's bonded to she might die.
Yeah, she could. Wow.
I was like, these conspiracy theories are going way too far. And I thought she was a really smart girl.
What is she? Why does she think that this government's going to put a chip in her baby or her pussy? I don't understand. What's her?
I don't know. I don't know her that well to talk about it. I could not tell you.
That's bad.
But it took me like 10 minutes to be like, what? She's that far to the deep end, and she was a smart person. So I feel like there's a lot you can't count on these days.
Fuck. Ugh.
Why would you risk having a baby without drugs? I'm sorry.
Without a hospital, without drugs, without a medical
or a midwife. That's what a midwife for.
Medical professional of any sort.
Go to the hospital.
I don't understand.
I mean, like, I know our country as a whole doesn't really support midwives, but most countries do, and I'm sure they could help. You need someone there, though.
That's a whole nother topic for a guest show with Dr. E, because she talks about why they're problematic. But anyhow.
Well, my cousin's a midwife, so I would disagree. Respectfully so.
That's fair. I'm speaking from
that's what my cousin does
the physician's perspective.
But my cousin went to school for it and is a trained professional.
I'm sorry,
so
I didn't mean any offense. I apologize.
No, I just think it's a United States thing. They don't understand that midwives can do stuff.
Got it.
I feel like maybe, yeah. Because in other countries, they have them, and in their birthing rate is so much low. Death rate is so much lower.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that documentary about babies? Like babies are made. It's all like how messed up our medical system is in the U.S. for having babies.
Oh, I don't think I can handle that right now. I mean, thank God I'm not pregnant or anything, but no, I can't handle it.
Yeah, it was basically like we're a domesticated country with like the highest deaths and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, that sounds about right. Unfortunately,
good old US of A.
Yeah.
Want to be American.
Well, I know. Every day I'm like, why?
Yeah, you have a choice. You chose this place.
Why didn't you to go back to dreary?
Why didn't you go back after Trump got elected?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I would go with you. Screw Corey. I'm gonna be your wife in England. Bye.
Well, if I go, it's gonna be bye. You won't see me much.
I'll go with you. That's what I'm saying.
You can't go on my how would you go though with citizenship?
I don't know. I'd have to look into it, but
yeah, it might be a little bit harder than you think.
It's a little late now anyway. Because I used to joke I was gonna go to Canada when it happened, and
I know. I love when people said that. I'm like, yeah, because they want to take you. Everyone's saying that.
Meanwhile, they literally put up every impossibility to get in and out of COVID. Like you couldn't even leave Canada like during COVID times.
I know. They're like, we don't want your
disease bullshit QAnon believing weirdo asses. Thank you, Net.
People are stupid. That's basically the moral of the story. I don't have much more to say about QAnon. Right? They're idiots.
I will say,
I just don't understand.
People are hurting, and this is my common thread lately. Just our country is hurting so badly in so many ways. Obviously, in the last 2 years, acutely, but like they just are running to find anything they can to pretend that this batshit crazy narrative is better than their reality. But I don't know. It's scary time.
I agree with that. I agree. I feel like I don't think that's just a United States thing.
Yeah, that's
a global
problem.
Thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like corporations are like when people can't make ends meet or like feel financially stable, it does have a big impact on people.
Yeah.
And I do think it's like more than ever people are hurting now. So maybe that's why there's more of this. I don't know. I would hope things would get better, but I don't know. I don't know how positive I feel.
Why. Okay, we have to end this on a positive note because this is really dark. I don't want to go here.
Well, we're talking about QAnon. Yeah. What is a positive note? Do you have any?
Yes, I do. Thirst got quenched. Wink, wink. That's all I'll say about that. Gracias. How about you?
I mean, I'm married, so I don't think it's exciting if I'm like my thirst was quenched.
That's not what I was asking. I meant, what's your positive news? But anyhow.
Oh. I got a lot. I haven't for my nephew's first birthday.
Right.
Corey just got out of a toxic job and got a new job, so life is looking
How
good.
was seeing Toby? That's her nephew.
Oh, so cute!
And he turned 1. And oh my god, I know she sent me pictures. I was like, I just want to eat him, little chunk of monk.
I know, he's so cute with his little hair that sticks up. Aw, it was fun. It was good to get away, and I'm excited. I'm going away next.
I know this bitch is traveling all over. You know what? I feel like we've both been traveling though, which has been great for us. Which is hence why we've been slacking on, episodes. Sorry about it, everyone. But
I know I'm ready not to slack anymore. I'm ready to
watch out, Bewitches. We coming over. We taking over.
Well, should we sign off on that? No, we got dark. We got deep. We got a little dumb, but it was a good episode. Okay, peace, Bewitches. Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchedbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Emails at bewitchedbanter@gmail.com. Credits? Music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from PremiumBeat.com. Podcast edited and produced by Kristen Hins and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.